all that happens is you just like ping pong around and mainly hit illusions.
Okay.
And now Team Secret, they've got one pick left to go. It's probably going to be the Weehaw hero. Looking at the hero list, trying to think right now.
This is...
You're going to be against a Razor mid, which is not fun.
10
So that rules out a
remaining.
lot of the heroes that I previously was thinking about. Like I was thinking
5
about the
seconds
TA, but
remaining.
that would be so difficult to play.
What was the game that
5
Cap and I
seconds
cast
remaining.
yesterday?
This
It was a Tide Hunter.
okay. Pugna God. Alright, that's going to be a Misery hero, and instead they're just going to switch things around. Like,
Well-
oftentimes they pick the Magnus or the offlane, but it looks like...
Well, Magnus is more viable on the offlane. Like, his skewer range was actually increased at level 1 now. So he's got, like, that escape mechanism back again.
They gave him a lot of interesting buffs. Like, I think that the heroes become pretty unique now. Especially with the Cleave aura. There's not a lot of heroes that can... Or the Empower. But there's not a whole lot of heroes that can utilize it in this game. It's just like the Juggernaut. Misery can't afford to play... Or whatever their mid hero couldn't have afforded to bid in a melee core. Not against a Razor.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
instead...
is Pugna still able to tank through that? Like, with, like, plasma field damage? Like,
10
he's going to
seconds
tick down
remaining.
pretty quickly. Or is that, like, by that time you've already got your ball?
And the mag... No, it's going to be the
sorry,
mag.
yeah, sorry, the
Remaining.
mag in the mid.
Should be,
So
yeah.
the skewer away.
But
yeah.
the mag should be kind of okay. I think it was like Fada versus S4 that played this matchup the last time I saw it. And it went incredibly... It was incredibly one-sided. Like, it was almost all Fada. But
Prepare for battle.
Okay, so...
this Pugna pick, though,
The-
is really interesting.
I really... Okay, can you break this down for me? Like, there's a lot of pings coming... Are they coming over to try and contest whatever this pull point is? Yeah, they're smoking up Team Secret.
No, it looks
And
like
so
they...
are Wings. They're gonna wrap around.
Alright, let's look at level 1 team fight. I think Secret is stronger here.
Depending on the positioning, they may be, because if they get up and they realize... Because they were picking this area, they're expecting Wings to be cutting down the tree line. If they try and turn and just stand on this line... Yeah, there's no observers.
High ground is going to matter so much for this engagement.
A
But
Secret, they're coming back. It'll actually be Wings who have the high ground. Faith can be there. The smoke's going to break on all the teams, and Misery's going to be the first one. Sorry, Eternal Envy the first one up. It's a big spin, a lot of damage from it, but the Illuminate from Ice is able to hit pretty hard into Wings, but they still don't find the kill. It's a Brain Sap Puppy, the most exposed player of them all. But the salve already triggering out from the Juggernaut. He doesn't have spin again, and Innocence picking up Weehaw, throwing him back into the rest of Wings. They now go with the Avalanche. Weeha's dropping low. The Illumina hits again. Weehaw skewers away with the first blood. It's built by Innocence, the support Rubik for Team Wings.
I came here
I
to
mean, I guess all it takes is a 5-man Ice Blast by Ice to make that okay. I thought that Secret would have the advantage. Bane is incredibly strong just because of the move speed, the damage, and the fact that he trades so well with the Brain Sap. Plus, you've got the Jug Spin. But Weehaw's going to be first kill of the game. Innocence is even going to deny himself to that Roshan. And this time around, it's going to be the tiny mid. And it's going to be the Razor core, which is to be expected with the way that things kind of match up. It's going to be the Razor off lane.
Oh, we saw a combo like this from Alliance a lot yesterday. I say a lot. I think we actually had 2 games with S4's Magnus. But they start with the Nightmare and then you just skewer back. It's the classic kind of combo. They did it with Tiny, was MVP's combo.
Oh,
when they did
okay. Weehaw just almost got a solo kill off on the Tiny.
With just skewer?
Yeah, he just skewered him to the tower, body blocked a few times. And the laning phase, this is going to matter quite a lot because I thought for a second they might just put the Razor and do what they did last game. But
Wing switched up.
Dire's top
yeah, they're going to
tower
put the Razor in the
under
off
attack.
lane.
Jugger? Parladi's got the creep wave with him. He can't help. He's got no void available.
No, Face should be fine. I don't think he has to be too worried about this lane. Like, he shouldn't die, I believe. It's a 2 melee lane against a Tide Hunter, right?
Yeah. You should win from that. But as you said before, like, the Blade Fury is quite a potent ability early on.
Yeah. It's like 300 damage level 1. Go it.
Faith real. Okay. CS. Where do we go from Innocence? Okay, so Innocence. They left the observers and sentries behind. So Innocence is being watched like a hawk. They want to know what Wings is doing down here, just around their own ancients. Misery, they're going to start on him. I'm still waiting for that early point up in Mana Leak.
Oh, Puppy's gonna get thrown back. This should not lead to anything though, but
Well, maybe
there is an arcane rune.
Maybe it can, because they've got support coming in from Ice Ice.
How do you kill though?
Yeah, true, but yeah, you can't.
Without the lift up, that is so unlikely.
And he used it at the very, very start.
Yeah.
But that's what I kind of always want to see, like that early point up in Mana Leak. But Chakra is just such a good ability.
No, I don't think you can. I think his skill build last game was about what was correct. He's got to be careful right here. Ice he's taking a lot of damage.
Misery expends a lot to do that damage though. Now he's got no mana left on that bottom lane. Is it really a problem though? Because Misery's still got very high base damage, so getting last hits in lane isn't too difficult. He's dealing with Shadow when he does that. So there's no regeneration for him. Poppy's coming over, but all he can give him is a clarity, and yeah, that's not enough. They'll send him back to base.
Yeah, Faith is going to heal up to full. Should be okay. Pugna's going to die to the neutrals, to be expected.
Quick away home.
Yeah, exactly. He knew for a fact. He's like, there's no reason to stay in a situation like this. He uses up almost all of his gold, and at top, Envy's going to get right-clicked down a few times by Faith.
Well, what a time for Faith to initiate too. He didn't even realize. I don't know if he knows that Night Stalker TP'd away. But either way, bottom lane, Puppy, pick him up, throw him back in again. And, well, Nightmare, no, there's no mana for it. He's short by 1 point, and now he'll have it, and Nightmare himself up. And yep, there's your denial. He'll get the kill on the Rubik and deny himself up, and there was no more damage that Wings could apply to get the kill.
I think that was a bit of a misplay, though. I feel like if the Keeper of the Light auto-attacks down almost instantly, then the Razor can just follow up, but nonetheless, really good play by Puppy.
Misery's dead.
Oh, that was an awkward death.
That range span from Ice as well as Shadow is really, like the range in that is so big with both Plasma Field as well as Illuminate.
It was a weird situation for Team Secret to be in. Like, Misery doesn't really have an out there. He can get chased down by the Razor just because he's so low. But Pylai dies, first rotation, shouldn't do too much. He's only level 1 with the Void. Level 1 Hunter of the Night, level 1 Void, not incredibly strong, only a 2.5 second slow. This is not a position that you want to be in when you go for the gank. And even with the Rubik here, like, he's anticipating this gank, Toby, but it shouldn't really lead to anything.
It might also just be safety, protect the Tiny at all costs. Because Tiny's off to like a fairly decent start, like 18 for 4, he's still like 10 CS behind that of Weeha. But Weeha's also got that 1 death to his name. It was early on, so he didn't really lose that much for it, though. It's like Envy's coming up to the top. Misery hiding in the tree line. And Shadow, well, with a Void, slows him down enough. Triple TPs coming in from Wing. Shadow stealing quite a fair chunk of damage from Juggernaut. And now Pardai stunned up. He burnt through all of his mana thanks to that mana leak of Ice. And Pardai keeps going on the run. They got another slow or another bit of damage. They don't. They can't reach Pylai and kill him. He'll be able to outrun them. So Wings heavy TPs for very little reward. In fact, no reward.
That's a crap, actually. The change to it was what enabled him to get out. The fact that it no longer slows your teammates was incredibly crucial for him to be able to survive there. Gets out scot-free. This mid lane, Weeha is leading in CS by 5. It's going to be a little bit more than that with these 2 creeps that he picks up. So good overall laning phase by Wings, as their 3 cores are doing okay, but at the same time, Team Secret, they are leading the board. This Bane already has 15.
What do you want to do here, Weeha? He's going to skewer. He clips him. He clips the Tiny, but Weeha's going to lose his life for this.
That was not worth it.
Tiny's just going to bottle up and then TP down again.
No.
In fact, he doesn't even need to.
There's just a path there.
Yep.
Just like, alright, cool stuff. No longer does what you think.
On the old map, that wouldn't have been possible.
Yeah. But now he just kind of.
Are they actually encouraging cliffing? Like with cliff jungling now? Or is this to actually stop that whole, oh, you've cliffed me, I've now lost the game?
It's to stop the, oh, you've cliffed me, the game's over now.
Yep, okay. There's still some other points you can do that too.
Yeah.
Paladai being picked up, thrown back down.
They shouldn't have enough damage for this though. No. Paladai's got enough move speed. They're not even running at static. Like, the Razor's a full 70 move speed behind him. Or it's like 60. There's no way that he catches up there. And Weeha's going to get assaulted a little bit by the toss. Shouldn't lead to too much as Tiny... This is what we were worried about a little bit, is that his laning phase might not be the strongest, but against a hero like Mag, should be just fine.
I'm actually more concerned about the progression of Eternal Envy. Like he's still top on the CS board. His levels aren't too bad as well, but I've never really felt his presence in this game yet. Like every time he goes for a spin, like there's nothing else there because Wings just TP's in support, or like they're always there to back each other up and just shutting down the space for Envy to really make plays.
You're not really gonna feel his presence though in a game like this. Like things are gonna be kind of awkward for him overall. So I don't anticipate things getting better for him, as weird as that sounds. Like I feel like this is just gonna be a position where he's going to get zoned out a little bit. He just has to continue to farm out. Now he's utilizing the safe lane. He'll catch up. Like, Juggernaut is not a hero, especially when you go for the dual off lane with, like, a melee and a melee. It's going to be hard to pressure the Tide whatsoever. I guess he could go for, like, some smoke play and try to use his ulti and gank mid, but I think he has to catch up. I think some teams can afford to go for that, but not Secret.
Well, he can just have his space on bottom lane.
Misery is so dead. I've never seen somebody more dead in my life. Alright.
How do you even stop that? Like, how do you stop that?
It's an invis Tiny. It's like, it's just, you call it a day. You had no ward vision, he had no idea that was an invis rune. It's like one of those movies, you know, where the villain kind of announces, like, where he is and who he's gonna kill and stuff like that, and you can't really do anything about it.
Well, normally when the villain announces that, his plan is completely foiled because he shouldn't have told
but this is
the hero of the story.
This is real Dota.
This is real life?
Yeah, this is real Dota. It doesn't happen like in the movies.
Oh, Envy, Mango charge. Oh, the pickup from Innocence. They actually mentally give out, so he triggers the Mango and cannot go for the Omni Slash kill that he really, really wanted to get. But he'll get the mana back because he's got the stick charges available and the rest of his team behind him. The Observer Ward's also doing work here for Secret, getting a lot of vision unobstructed around the tree line, but Wings bring a lot of support to the front lines. And now they toss the Rubik. He can go for the pickup on the Pugner, throws him back, allows for the avalanche for Tiny to connect, and another dead Pugner. Puppy goes for the Fiend's Grip, and Rubik, he actually survives through it. Puppy can't even find the kill from this. He won't be able to get a denial this time around, not when Tiny's there with a toss. Meanwhile, Magnus is able to get an RP kill over on the Tidehunter behind the T1 tower mid.
That's surprising considering that it's a Tidehunter, but still a lot of kills by Wings. They're putting pressure now too, and that was the worst possible hero that they could have lost in this game, losing the heroes to the Tiny, because this is going to mean his Blink Dagger really quick.
Now, when this tower goes down, he's basically got it.
Yeah, he's going to be a full 1,000 gold ahead of Weeha when it comes to the Blink Dagger timing, as he has it fully completed now.
They're TPing mid. Weeha's already here. He doesn't prep for the skewer, but this is a Tidehunter with a Ravage. He almost wants them to attack into him.
Yeah, 8 seconds for the Tiny to join the fight. Sorry, I can't read those characters. It's the wrong kind of Asian. He's going to dive into the jungle, check things out a little bit.
Oh, Envy. He just used spin. Tiny, he's going to blink and go for the avalanche toss. Just punch him. He needs to punch him twice, however, one punch is not enough. And, well, Envy turns for the Omni Slash, and the Fade Ball from Innocence will kill secure. Puppy comes in for the Nightmare, however, and with a pickup, they throw him back. Paradise will get controlled, just keeping him out. Innocence, however, he's dropping down low. Shadow will arrive and start stealing the damage up from Paradise. He doesn't have enough damage. Even while triggering this ulti, it won't be enough. And, sorry, what was actually happening in mid?
No, they used the Ravage to try to kill Weeha, and he got pretty low, credit to him, but at the same time, he had a regen rune, completely turns that around, makes things kind of okay in that situation. Still, you lose your Juggernaut, and like you said, this is a hero that was kind of struggling early on and wasn't having the easiest time. And now, things are getting pretty rough right now.
It's just not the presence I expect from Envy. Like, this is a guy who builds face boots on Weavers so he can dive under towers and be over-aggressive. You saw him in game number 1 with an Ember Spirit diving underneath towers so he can be aggressive.
No, I just think that Wings is playing really well when it comes to the pressure game. I think they understand that even in this meta, this is something that you can play the control-based game with your mid and just run at the enemy team. And this is something that they've been pretty successful with so far in this game. In the previous game, we saw how good it can be, but
He's in trouble. The
Oh, he's gonna
Avalanche,
get
the
tossed
toss,
back.
they throw him back.
The mana
and
leak too?
instantly picked up. He's looking for the RP, but he's got no mana to do it with. He actually got cancelled halfway through because he ran out of mana.
that was like the most complicated combo I've ever seen in Dota. It was like toss back into mana leak, into the gush, into the lift.
The telekinesis grab actually grabbed him halfway through the toss as
Yeah,
well.
they didn't even almost kill him because of that. It just looked really clowny.
They still fight the kill, however.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And with that, they're going to force into the tier 1 tower in mid. They want to go for more. Their Blink Dagger's there for the timing, and Puppey, he's just far enough out of vision, because this is nighttime at the moment.
Dire's
The wings
top
don't see him.
is under attack.
They
You
washing
take the
machine
tower,
him.
and it's going to be a trade-off. Pilot Die as well as EE. They're going to take out that top tier 1.
Wings already realizes it's too late for this top tower, and this is going to be something that Envy actually desperately needed. Some of this gold this is going to propel him just behind the Razor, 1k behind him. It's what you kind of expect when you've got the tower disadvantage.
Can you really read like the mentality of a team through their ward position?
No,
So like Wings did this in the last game as well, where it took them a very long time. Oh wow, you just gave him power to a tiny. But they go for defensive wards on their second wave of wards, and they seem to do this every single time.
It might just be a comfort thing where they know to play around as well. This mid ward, it's a little bit harder for Team Secret to de-ward just because they haven't been able to get aggressive on the map just yet. And now the Tide is going to do some ancient stacks. It's going to complete that. It's much slower than it used to be, but should go down nonetheless, as he's got one dragon left to deal with. Gets that in short order, and with a mech almost completed.
Shadow's in trouble. They're going to commit the RP. Razor got one charge
It
up
is
almost. They can
taking them
skewer him back.
forever to
but
kill him.
There's 13 one charges. Tiny's killed off the bear in the meantime. We'll get one last Plaster Field off, which drops Misery very, very low. And well, where's that Blink? It's still on cooldown. They both TP out, but Innocence, he got the pickup. He ends up killing off Misery. The Creep Wave provided the vision for him.
Oh,
Pilot Die is hiding in the trees. He can't TP. It's on cooldown for 10 seconds.
Oh,
and
he's going to just juke by walking straight up. They probably don't know about that.
He's out of vision.
Okay, he's going to check in, but should be just fine here.
There it is, 1 second. He can TP now.
Yeah. Really good for Secret to get out. It took them a little bit too long to kill the Razor, but there wasn't enough punish. Maybe if they kill Weehaw, that would have been great for them. But not being able to pick him up makes things a little bit complicated. And now the Keeper of the Light is switching gears. In the last game, you saw him go for the Aghanim Scepter almost immediately after the mech, but this time the Tide Hunter has it. The Ags doesn't mean as much. Like you said, they've got a Night Stalker, so the unobstructed day vision isn't going to be as good.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
The Blink Dagger is over on Mag. Is this the glory moment for Weehaw? Catch Wings all out. Then again, even if he gets the Blink RP off, I'm still very skeptical they can win the fight. With that mech over on Faith, like, you got a lot of survivability, and then, like, you pull back the Tide Hunter. Like, Secret don't have enough damage to kill off that Tide Hunter before he then turns in for a Ravage, and there's no BKBs up for Secret. So the only thing that's going to be protecting is, like, Juggernaut's spin. That's all.
For me, the name of the game, Toby, is just, can you burst somebody before everything's gone off? Like, if you can't burst the Razor in a situation like that at top, and he gets a Tide Mech, then the game pretty much becomes the roughest thing in the world for you. And now Wings are going to go for the smoke. This is a kill that they should absolutely have to get here.
They got a blink for it. The blind one, Avalanche. Actually catches Weehaw as
Can
well.
they get the rock? Oh my god!
They combo it perfectly and Juggernaut's down. No Omni Slash timing. The RP comes in from Weehaw, but all he got was Faith. And RP actually got stolen by Rubik. He wants to let this one up. They have to back up. There goes Yemek. The Fiend scripts over on the time.
Oh, he's gonna get in there!
The tanks to
The
it
silence!
all. The Pugna Ward might be down, but Innocence, he can't get close enough. He can't get the ulti off. They're backing up. Wings have still got a lot. And okay. That Tiny wanted to go back in again. His team is not ready to fight, however.
He was, like, Innocence was right there. He was so close. He had a double RP set up. Everybody from Secret was so low. That was the initiation that they needed. But it doesn't quite matter as they pick off the Jug. Again, it doesn't look pretty when they have to, like, toss into, like, the lift into the Ravage. But, I mean, it's...
They get it done, man.
I imagine if you're, like, a real Dota hero, you're just like flying through the air 1 second and then you land and then you just get bursted into the air again. Tumbling around in the air, it's so scary.
Almost want to nickname Wings Messy Boys. It may not be clean, but they get the job done.
That is like the worst name. That's we're not doing that. It's actually like the worst nickname. That's
Hey, nicknames don't have to be good, Blitz.
yes, they do. That's the point of a nickname. They've got to be cool.
Dude, look at my nickname. Can you really class Obi-Wan as cool?
Yeah, I mean, Toby Wan's not the best, truth be told, but
Hey, man, I actually tried to change.
Messy Boys Gaming is like the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. All right.
Would you prefer to be vegetable gaming?
Misery, he's
dead.
He is so dead.
Avalanche is going to connect, and he lost the vision.
No!
He actually lost the vision around the tree line. So
Not like
Misery
this.
gets the ward down. They keep on chasing.
What's
Ice Ice
going
will
on?
take care of the nether ward. He needs to hit attack it one more time, and there she blows. And the RP Weeha, well, it's actually Innocence's RP, which controls Weeha. Juggernaut has to spin himself away, but he's already giving the
Jug's out of
damage
mana.
over to Shadow. And that damage, well, it's a physical. It just goes straight through. The second wave of the Avalanche connects onto EE. So the Juggernaut is down.
Misery, you gotta get out of here.
Misery's too close. The Planter Field does a lot of the work, but it's Tiny's punch that gets the kill. And the tier 2 tower is now forfeit. They didn't have to even blow Ravage. It's coming back off cooldown shortly. Wings are looking fantastic.
No, they're playing this control-based game so well right now. Again, it's just the supports. Once the Rubik steals the RP, he's like, how am I going to use this? He's like, oh, I can just get the solo RP before the Magnus gets anything off. It's not even like they're playing around the Ravage timing. This is probably the scariest part for Team Secret is you haven't seen an ideal Ravage once this game. It's almost always been single heroes or failed Ravages. Like that top engagement, that mid engagement doesn't lead to anything. And that's something that you almost always have to worry about if your team is... If a team is still winning engagements without the use of one of probably their biggest ability. Wait until he properly utilizes it just in one fight.
Yeah. And wait until Tiny gets the wonderful rune, the new one, the Arcane.
Oh yeah, this helps him so much.
Drop the Avalanche and toss cooldowns down. Reduce the mana cost. It's a rune.
No, this is the tiny rune for sure. It's like an Octarine core for free.
Looks like Ice dragging his friend Innocence. Innocence has practically finished up his 4-star. By giving him this camp, he's now 20 gold away from it. And Wings are starting to pressure him bottom. Envy does find his farm item now by finishing up the Battle Fury. And with the Empower buff up, that actually gives him quite considerable amounts of damage. The only issue is Wings is just so damn big at the moment that damage may not count really for anything. And you look at Weeha, every time, that mana leak range is just so damn good.
Gonna get that bottom tower for free. Sometimes just the threat of the Ravage is enough to do the job. So we're gonna circle out. And at top, Misery, trying to apply some pressure, but 845 HP. I really like value cloak pickups, by the way, nowadays. Like, if you're playing a support in a pub, nowadays, if you're like a 900 HP CM and you're playing against a Tiny, you should almost always pick this item up. The amount of value that it gives you against the Tiny is incredibly strong. Which is why he decides to pick it up. And this Pugna, at this point, might as well be a support. He's barely hovering over the other two supports on his team. This is a hero that absolutely is not paid off for them.
Yeah. Overall, nothing's really paid off. Like, there's almost 10,000 net worth going the way of Wings. The experience swung up a little bit, but now Wings take the Aegis, the Immortal. Tiny, with this death of Roshan, he's going to be 1,200 gold away from completing up the Ags. And is that the dream item as well for the Tiny? Or do you just go directly into the Ags, or is there something more useful up against Secret?
No, I'd really like the Aghanim Scepter. So I was just kind of thinking about Wings supports. Like, I'm in love with them. Like, the way that they play the game. They are definitely button clickers, Toby.
It's the timing. They're not even being forced out of their comfort zone. Like Ice. What do you gotta do? Play Keeper of the Light. What do you do? Play another Keeper of the Light. Wonderful.
That's fine though. He's playing it really well. He deserves it.
They're recalling him. They want to fight. So bring in the Tiny.
The Razor's going to be left to force Envy back a little bit. Envy does have the Battle Fury, and they do have the Magnus, so they still have the option for the Dream RP Toby. This is something that they can still decide to go for at some point. It's really strong.
It's got to find that opening for it. Poppy This is not really his time. The Blinding Light actually pushes him further back in the Tiny. Avalanche
Goodbye.
toss, Puppy can't survive through that. But they might come in from behind. There is EE. He finds the Tiny. They're trying to group up to soak it all up. There goes your RP with a Ravage. It hits on him, and then, well, it's a quick Shockwave steal. They could revert the damage, or no, they can't. The spin from EE. He chases Ice Ice into the tree line. He forced out.
Oh, that force!
Almost escaping. Envy's able to reach him. I don't know if he actually attacked him to the creep wave to center, or if he just reached him with a normal melee attack, but either way, there's 3 down now for Team Secret.
Could have been 3 for 1.
Highlight Die still out here. It may actually be 4 for 2. Highlight Die's got no way out. Can't TP out of that one.
They are losing so much traction into this game. Every single time an engagement happens, it feels like they're losing a core. And now that the Tidehunter has the Blink Dagger, his positioning on the Ravage is going to be even more useful. Maybe if he had it in the last engagement, they could have gotten a little bit better of a fight off, but he's also got 900 gold coupled with that. So the Guardian Greaves is going to follow shortly after. This is going to be incredibly effective against Secret's lineup. If you get Silence, you just Guardian Greave it off. You've got options now if your team wings. And if Secret weren't losing their cores for every engagement, I'd say this game is going better for them, but as it stands, it's a little bit rough.
It's back to the classic Secret position. EE's the primary one with farm. Weeha's got some elements of control that can make it so Eternal Envy can carry the game. And then EE just keeps farming till he's beyond godlike. But
he's got a lot of farm. Like he's about to hit. He's the highest level in the game, I think. And on top of that, despite the fact that they've lost so many fights in a row, he's not doing that bad in net worth.
But this is the EE style. Like he did this in Cloud9 all through TI5. I guess half the reason Cloud9 got as far as they did, they just picked him anti-mage and he slips through the lines. No vision whatsoever. Oh, Rubik. Wow.
Is under attack.
The timing.
This is going to give them a lot of information to work with as they see both the cores that they have to worry about in this bottom area. And I know a lot of people criticize Envy for kind of being a little bit unstable, but in a lot of ways I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like this is a player that almost always gets the amount of farm that he needs off. And sometimes needed... It's not even the fact that I see it often repeated that he needed a player like Puppy to help control him, but I feel like it's more that he needed a player that he can kind of bounce off ideas with and get a better sense of like what's good, what's bad, what can work out for a team. And he's kind of really learned to play within his team as well. But this might not matter too much as Wings... This might be the high ground assault for them as they've got the Razor Aghanims doing a lot of damage to this tower. There's no glyph available for Team Secret.
Team Secret, they bring everybody back, and Wings, they're not going to oblige them with a fight.
They've got a full... they're going to wait for their items first. They've got full...
The Ags
Look at
the
just
Ags
the
is coming
items
in on the
coming
courier. What else have we got? We got the Blink Dagger in for Innocence, so...
And the Guardian Greaves for the Tide. So everybody just picked up.
Turn the Blink around. There we go. Ruby's got Blink Dagger as well as Force Staff. Innocence can steal whatever he wants. This is probably even one of the great Aghanims games for him too.
Yeah, for him to be able to steal the Bane Grip, the Magnus RP, even the Omni Slash in a lot of cases.
Yeah, what I'm actually waiting for him to steal is something like Life Drain. With the Ags upgrade. So just push anyone to the front lines. We'll keep them all alive.
Oh,
Tiny. Okay, well, he killed off the Nice Slug, but I was watching for the middle lane.
Two-man
The
RP.
Blink Ravage, Puppy and Misery both getting caught. Puppy, he's actually just leaving a trail of blue gunk behind him as he gets mana drained out. Triggers his wand charges, and he's trying to get up to the hillside, but he can't TP out. It's still on cooldown for 6 more seconds. And Wings, they just chase the kill. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Shadow starting the pressure. They buy back on the Pugna. Secret realize it's kind of now or never. They have to get a big ulti out from Empy. He's got the level 3 ulti available. They have the RP up and running. Maybe Wings won't be expecting it.
This might be the best situation that you're going to get. As
Well, the Aegis just got reclaimed. It's really good.
it's still so
They
hard
go.
to kill Shadow, but this might be their opportunity.
No, the creep wave! He's in the middle of it all! And then Wings, they just soak it up. The Juggernaut ulti does almost no damage. Especially when the Greaves just charge, they just repair it all.
Yeah, they might just reset this fight. There's not a whole lot of high ground defense for Team Secret. The only thing that they have available now to kind of save them in this situation is the RP. Like, the Jug is a completely different hero than the Ember. The Ember can sit back, slide a fist, but in a situation like this, it's got to be the RP.
But there's no follow-up to the RP. Like, Weeha is currently getting glimmered in. They're going to Nightmare over on Shadow, but Weeha's is not in position where he can skewer Shadow back.
Yeah, a lot of it's going to come down to how fast Innocence is. If he can get the lift off onto the Magnus in the middle of the RP and he's not caught by it, then maybe you can steal the RP yourself, get into an even better position.
Greaves is off cooldown.
Yeah, and Weeha doesn't have Force Staff either, so he's so hesitant to commit to this, but...
Oh, there it is. Blinks forward, gets the skewer back on Shadow. They start with the spin. That Nether Ward is still down, making it difficult for Wings to fight in the Fiend's Grip. It controls the Tidehunter, but not for long. And even with all that damage, like the mid-melee ranks is still brought down by Wings. You expend your Fiend's Grip, you still don't have Omni Slash, and you do not have Darkness available.
There's almost no chance that Secret really gets into a good engagement. That was more just them saying, hey Weeha, if you see an opportunity, go. But if you don't, we're not overcommitting for this because we're going to lose the Rex. And just a smart decision overall. You're not going to lose the, you don't want to lose the game completely over a ranged Rex, right? You just say reset, look for a better opportunity when we have our Juggernaut ultimate up. Maybe it goes off a little bit better, but things are going to get difficult as the next round of items should be heading in for Wings. They got a fair amount of gold. This is going to mean a full Yasha for the Tiny. Faith is going to pick up some gold on top of that. It's probably going to be the Manta that we talked about being such a good counter to the Juggernaut.
Yep.
Dire's middle tower is
Speaking of Juggernaut, Envy just trying to spin, take out the wave, and then push into the tower.
Oh, this Tidehunter might go Ags.
Dire's middle tower is
Oh,
under
really?
attack.
Maybe. You can go Octarine Core too.
So the AoE Gush.
Yeah, Refresher would still be really good here.
They're moving up. Observer Ward. Innocent's going to walk directly into Puppey. He's still got the Blink and Force Staff available. Blinks down for the Nightmare, and then Skewer back for Weeha. Innocent, he has the Juggernaut spin.
Okay.
The Blinding Light from Eyesight will make a little bit more space. He's been holding on to that for a while, and now the Omni Slash. Every single original hit went onto that Rubik, and then onto the Time, the RP follow-up Secret. They're going to find a good couple of kills here. Misery actually drained the life out of the Time, and the Ravage is still available, and now he'll pop it. They catch the Juggernaut out with no spin available. Shadow just goes to work on him, and the pickup over on Weeha. They might lose their Courier during the fight. They had to buy back over on the Tiny. But you've managed to get the kill on the Juggernaut as well as a Magnus, and they're coming straight for the mid lane.
And they look confident right now. They know the RP plus the Omni Slash is down. Even with the buybacks, this might not deter them. As they've committed a lot for this. Puppey's going to try to get a ward down, scoot his way into the base. The Razor, luckily for Team Secret, he doesn't have the ultimate, and they do have the glyph available. The Jug is going to buy back.
He still doesn't have Omni Slash though.
Structures are fortified.
But they'll empower him up. Weeha trying to go for the perfect skewer. Innocent just picks him up, throws him back down again. And there's the move forward from Envy. Going for the spin, but Shadow stealing that damage once again. 77 points of it taken away. And they can start inflicting that damage into the building. Tiny's got to move forward and start beating into it, even with the toss damage. Innocent skewering Misery out. Damn, I love this guy. I'm now a new fan of this man. As Misery,
that damage!
From Envy. He's jumping forward with the spin. They Nightmare on the Tidehunter. But with a Force Staff from Innocence, he pushes the Tide out to safety. And Weeha goes for the skewer. And Tiny, even as a big rock, he's still able to 1-2 sidestep it. And they just kill off Weeha. They are going to rip through this bottom racks. They're going to go in again for another spin over on Envy. But it's a little too late. There's nothing more that can be done to stop this attack. And in fact, even with the jump in, Tiny with the swing, the cleave, they bring down the Bane. They're going into the Fountain. That's a little bit too deep, Wings. But the Tidehunter, he's got the Aghanim Scepter now. So the Ags upgrades there. The Omni Slash Innocence. He's not bouncing down to him. They actually moved up so far that Shadow tanks the last bit of the damage. So Innocence can survive. And GG. Wings is going to completely upset the group by taking a 2-0, claiming the 3 points up against Secret. And this is now going to be a very, very interesting next 2 series.
It's not even the fact that they 2-0 them right here, Toby. It's the manner in which they did it. They dismantled Team Secret. The Rubik, that might have been one of the better mechanically skilled Rubik games I've seen in a really long time. It's not just the way that he steals the abilities, it's how he uses them, how he was able to pick people up.